All right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to talking more about Hee Jin. I did say that I would talk about Hee Jin after the verdict came out about the court's decision. So apparently the parent company of Adore had called for a shareholders meeting for the dismissal of Adore CEO Hee Jin for attempting to take over the label and reportedly overturn management. However, Hee Jin won her temporary injunction against HYBE on May 30th, 2024, which resulted in the court ordering HYBE to not use its voting rights at the shareholders meeting held later on the same day, apparently. Same day. They wanted to fire that day, but it didn't happen. Unfortunately, they could not do that. Meanwhile, she appeared for an exclusive interview on KBS on News 9 on Monday 31st to share her views on the subject. During the interview, she talked about the feud between her and Adore's parent company HYBE Corporation and the huge barrage of allegations that surfaced as a result of everything that was going on between HYBE and Hee Jin. It's not even Adore versus HYBE. It's more like Hee Jin versus HYBE. She explained that when HYBE conducted its interim audit against her on April 21st, she was in a quote-unquote difficult situation and had to hold an immediate press conference regardless. It's making it seem as if HYBE were the instigators, is what she's trying to say. They started this. Like I said on the previous video, she's saying that she had no intention, basically, or at least acting as if she had no intention of going public with all of the information she was collecting on HYBE and Bong Shi-hyuk. And what made it worse was that HYBE acted first, which bolstered support from K-netizens. That's why so many people were behind her, because if she had came out first, honestly, if she had come out first, people probably would have taken her side automatically by virtue of her being a woman first and foremost. Secondly, because HYBE is a big corporation, and this is kind of how Koreans think as far as the power structure, the hierarchy of power, they automatically take the underdog side, which I get, but neutrality is the best way to go until evidence is shown, and it's not like some fabricated nonsense or doctored stuff. Like, it has to be real, substantial, weighty evidence. Okay, so yeah, I get that they took her side because of her being a woman and trying to come against this big company, and she's trying to tell them, hey, this company is mistreating me. They won't promote my girls. They won't support my group. They won't support any project that I do. They don't care about me because I'm a woman. They mistreat me, you know. And then she even said that there was mistreatment in HYBE itself. So mind you, when they did the audit, everything that they found in that audit against her, she used it against them and said, no, they're the ones who are committing mistreatment. They're the ones who are doing this. They're the ones who are doing that. I'm not saying that she's a total liar. I do believe that she had no choice but to do a press conference immediately because she didn't have all of her evidence compiled yet, but she was collecting all this stuff so that she could go public. And what I was trying to say, because I cut myself off, is that her going public first before HYBE, if she had done that, people would have taken her side anyway. HYBE coming out, however, and trying to blow the whistle on her before she could have a chance worked in her favor as well. Actually, probably more so than if Hee Jin came out and said something first. I think people would have had raised eyebrows if she had came out first, even if people took her side after she said everything. I think she probably would have acted differently. She probably would have dressed differently. But because of the way HYBE did it, she was able to use HYBE going first as a way to emotionally manipulate everyone. It was much easier. They made it easy for her, for K-netizens to buy into her act or whatever. So that's how I see it. But either way, HYBE was going to be looked at unfavorably by K-netizens regardless, because power structure. HYBE, this big multi-million dollar, billion, trillion dollar company, going against, you know, this one woman who has this one little subsidiary company in HYBE. Of course, it's going to look like she's the obvious victim here. So that's all I wanted to say about that. She continued that after winning the injunction, she was at ease to speak her mind properly in the latest interview. She said, quote, "During the first press conference, I was in a difficult situation, so I had to proceed despite the circumstances. But since we won the verdict yesterday, I was able to speak more freely about the situation and share my thoughts," end quote. She was also accused of humiliating New Jeans and other female employees of Adore in her Cookout Talk chat, which were exposed by Hybe and submitted in court during the first injunction hearing on May 17th. Now, I have to say this. The Seoul Central District Court approved the injunction filed by Adore CEO Min Hee Jin, aimed at preventing Hybe from using its voting rights in the upcoming shareholders meeting. So keep that in mind. That's very important that she filed that so that they would not fire her. Okay? I also should point out that the court also stated that if Hybe wants to fire her, they would have to pay her compensation in the amount of 20 billion Korean won, which is approximately like 14.5 million in US dollars. Nevertheless, Hybe still has to cover Min Hee Jin's legal fees since she won. Mind you, BLIFT LAB is suing Min Hee Jin for allegations of plagiarism raised by Min Hee Jin towards ILIT at the first press conference. If y'all remember, she brought up ILIT and she brought up BLIFT LAB. Due to such allegations made by Min Hee Jin, ILIT became the target of backlash from netizens, sending the girls malicious comments and personal attacks. Min Hee Jin may be mentally unstable, but she isn't stupid, okay? She had to have known what her words and actions would cause. So if all of the backlash that ILIT is getting wasn't a part of her plan while accusing their company of plagiarism, then you would have to chalk it up to mere coincidence or convenience, which would also imply that she mismanaged not only the girls in Adore, but her own words and actions at the first press conference. So she slipped up there, okay? Someone in the comment section of my last community post had said that during her interview, Min Hee Jin said her name was cleared. Now, as I recall, the judge made it very clear that she indeed did betray the company. Okay, so she took steps to undermine Hybe, and the court saw that. And there's no getting around that. Now, of course, the court also said that, you know, she can't be fired because, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's that she did not do any damage to Adore. And so that's why there was no harm, no foul there. But the court, again, like I said, did recognize that Min Hee Jin did undermine Hybe, was trying to do something to Hybe. Now, if she was allowed to have done what she was planning on doing, if she was allowed to even try to implement some of her tactics, because she didn't really get to implement much of anything, because Hybe did that audit, which put a stop to all of that. But if she was allowed to, then I think Hybe would have had more grounds to beat the injunction. I don't even know if Min Hee Jin would have filed the injunction if she was caught red-handed with her plans being already implemented, right? So I don't know about that, but either way, we are where we are now. Here's what gets me though. Min Hee Jin is still out there accusing Hybe, and I don't see her stopping anytime soon with that whole thing that she's doing out there with the media. Now, speaking of the media, she claims that she doesn't like the media, but she's been all over the place, appearing on NHK, on KBS, which is the biggest Korean news outlet out there in South Korea, talking about how much of a threat Hybe is to her, to Adore, and to her girls. And I just think at this point, I don't know if you guys feel the same, but I feel like she's talking a bit too much. And if she keeps talking, she's going to get tongue-tied and she's going to mess up. I have a feeling she's going to mess up. And people, I mean, she's already messing up. And I'm going to tell you how she's messing up in a minute. You know, she doesn't like being in the spotlight. She doesn't like the media. She doesn't like... But she's using the very media that she claims to hate so much. So now she's messing up there because she's contradicting herself. So I don't know about you guys, but I don't see her stopping her warpath anytime soon. I will say, however, that she's changed her tune. And this is what I mean by she's messing up. At the first press conference, she claimed herself to be the only one who was done wrong by Hybe. And now, after the court has come out and said that they see Min Hee Jin was in fact attempting to undermine Hybe, now she's saying that there was betrayal on both sides. They betrayed me, I betrayed them. So now the blame has no longer been completely on Hybe. Now she's taking accountability after she kind of got exposed by the court saying all this stuff and it being dispersed through the media. This is why she doesn't like the media. It's a double-edged sword. In one instance, she hates the media because they're exposing her. Number two, she likes the media because she thinks she can go out there to the same outlets that are exposing her so that she can put her own agenda out there and so that they can believe her. She really thinks she can manipulate even the media. At least that's what I'm getting out of this, is that she acts as if she's capable of manipulating the media. And again, I do feel like she's playing the sexism card. And that's a bold statement, but I'm gonna say it. I think she's playing the sexism card because imagine if it was a guy. Say if Min Hee Jin was a guy, okay? Say if she was a guy. There probably would have been support, absolutely, I'm sure. But not as much as Min Hee Jin had gotten from just the first press conference alone. Not just her going on this whole media tour trying to spin narratives and all that. Like just before all that, they would have gotten support, just not as much as Min Hee Jin. Min Hee Jin, because she's a woman, she knows exactly what she's doing, man. And it kind of benefits her that she's a woman to do this. And it might sound sexist for me to say that, but if you think about it, gender plays a huge role in what she's trying to do here. A lot of the Korean public sympathized with her, probably still, because she's a woman. And we know how hard it is for women to get ahead in Korea. So, you know, it is a game that she's playing with that. However, she is a brilliant person, okay? She has a long-lasting career where she's been doing creative directing for SM, and I don't know her struggles towards achieving that, but it's clear to me that she has at least gotten to a point where she no longer has those struggles that a lot of other Korean women face in business and all that. That said, it doesn't matter because she's still the champion for the people. At least that's what she's presenting herself as, and people see her in that way. I think she's a champion for herself, honestly. But that's what she said. She said that there was betrayal on both sides. Do you mind? Let me go back to something that I read that she said earlier. She said that now that she feels like her name's cleared, she feels more comfortable to speak freely about how she feels about the whole situation. So she thinks she's cleared, even after the judge called her out for trying to do what she was trying to do. She thinks she's cleared. She thinks her name is cleared. I think that's just wild, bro. I don't know about y'all, but I think that's wild. Y'all forgive me, I am a little sick today. So if I sound off, that's why. So yeah, she's cleared, whatever, blah, blah. She's not cleared, obviously, but whatever. Let her think that. She said there was betrayal on both sides. I think she's referring to Hybe putting out a statement that they did an audit on her and found all of this stuff. And that's the betrayal she's talking about. Then she's saying that she in turn betrayed them. I think that's what she's trying to say, that the betrayal that was done to her by Hybe, she returned the favor with betrayal of her own, as if to imply she had no intention of doing anything. And because they struck first, she is justified in betraying them back. But given everything that Hybe has put out about her text messages and the shaman and all that, seems like she was cooking up something from the beginning. And she's trying to spin the narrative to suggest that Hybe did her wrong first, as if to say that everything that they found out about Min Hee Jin, everything that they found out about her and the shaman and all this other stuff has no bearing on what's going on with Hybe doing what they did to her. That's why they did the audit, though. Now, remember what I said in the first Min Hee Jin video I did. I think it was the first one. I said that she allegedly had a double agent reporting to her about what Hybe is doing, the goings on of Hybe. So they found that in the audit, is what it was alleged. I'm just putting that out there. When asked by the news anchor about the sudden change in appearance and her language, she said that in the first press conference, she was agitated. Sounds like she's pulling a switcheroo on us, if I'm being honest, because in that last press conference, she tried to explain her behavior by saying that, like, this is who I am and this is what I do. This is my personality, right? This is me. I use profane language. That's how I am. But then when she's being confronted by the KBS anchor, she's trying to like doctor it up and say, well, I was going through. Bruh, I was going through. You don't understand. See, it's not that I'm lying that that's who I am. That is who I am. But I was going through. So you always talk like you're going through? You always talk like you're in distress? Mind you, people that are on her side will say she's a hard worker. She did her best. She did this, did that, did, blah, 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 blah. But this is what a lot of people say. The only thing I have against her is that she's difficult to work with, because when she has a dream or a goal for something, she wants to carry it out by any means necessary. I agree. I think we just have a difference of opinion as to what her goal was in this instance, trying to get a door from underneath Hive and have outside investors invest in a door so that she can pull a door away, and New Jeans as well. Let the chips fall where they may. It's clear to me, at least from everything that I've been looking at with this whole situation, that Min Hee Jin is not a trustworthy person. Again, I am not on either side. I just see what I see and I call it out. I do not trust Min Hee Jin. And this is why I've been making this series of videos, is to highlight this point. I think companies are probably going to take note of this. In fact, companies, I believe, are taking note of this. And I bet you they're trying to make sure that they fix their contracts so that something like this doesn't happen to them. So companies are definitely going to act differently as a result of this whole Min Hee Jin Hive situation, so as to avoid situations like this from occurring with them. And that's the biggest takeaway, that this could actually astronomically change how companies do what they do. If they have subsidiary labels underneath them, if they ever plan to, this is something to consider. I don't think any company ever thought in their wildest dreams that someone who's employed under them would try to do this to them. But now that Min Hee Jin has come out and done this, definitely, they are thinking twice about it. And this might also inspire on the other side more people like Min Hee Jin to do what Min Hee Jin did. Yes. Unfortunately, it's going to inspire people. No doubt she's probably inspired many people in Korea to do this already. So I am not very optimistic about how this is going to turn out, the long-term effects, because this is going to have long-term effects. But again, I'm saying this is the last video, but I don't know. The fight's not over. The battle's not done. She's still out there preaching her stuff. And before I forget, let me give a quick shout out to viewer by the name of VJSTIGALL. You were giving me some really good details about this, and I really appreciate you and everybody, honestly, who was giving me good feedback about what's going on with the case, the trial, and everything, and what you guys think the repercussions will be concerning this whole situation. I do appreciate you guys doing that. But this particular person, I'm highlighting you because you came first and said all that you had said about this whole situation. And I was like, okay, because I don't know nothing about no court stuff. Okay. I was at a deposition, unfortunately, long time ago in my 20s. I was at a deposition. I can't remember how many hours I was there being questioned. So, but this is a trial. I've never been in a trial, because if the deposition didn't go well and the other side wasn't satisfied, it would have just went to trial. Thank God it didn't. The company I was working for, it settled and gave this woman whatever money, and that was it. That was the end of it. Thank God. But thank you for giving me the information you gave me, because you had said some really interesting things. I think there's something wrong with her mentally. I think she has some kind of mental issue, and I'm not trying to be funny or anything like that. I'm dead serious. I think she has a mental issue. The smiling, the excessive smiling. She thinks her name was cleared when it's clearly not. She's in trouble. I think maybe either she's got a mental issue or she knows she's in trouble and she's just trying to fake it. She's just trying to fake it with the smiling and all that. She's trying to make herself look more favorable, appear more favorable to the people who she emotionally manipulated and the media. So I don't know. She's kind of playing games, mental games, mind games and all that. So I can't call it. All I can say is that I just don't trust this woman. But the bigger plot, and I'm going to end it here with this. I am more concerned about the girls than anything else. I've seen people in the comments blaming the girls equally with Min Hee Jin. And I want to be very clear. Min Hee Jin and New Jeans are not the same entity. Min Hee Jin is her own person. The girls are their own people. And the girls are minors and they don't know what's going on. And they probably don't even realize they're being emotionally manipulated by their CEO. Okay? So I'm very worried about the girls. I'm hoping that something gets resolved and she's out of there so that the girls can be taken care of properly and being put in the hands of someone who is emotionally more stable than Min Hee Jin, mentally more stable than Min Hee Jin, because she is not stable. And if anything shows me that she's not stable, everything she's done up to this point has shown me that she's not stable. I don't care how creative you are and how amazing you are at your job. If you're not mentally and emotionally stable enough to do your job without being an emotional wreck, whether you intentionally did it for media play or not, I don't care. The fact that you would even consider to do that means there's something mentally wrong with you. Consulting with a shaman, trying to use some shaman power, mystic powers to get BTS out of the way so you can do what you can do with your girl. There's something off about you. You talking to the shaman and continuing to talk to the shaman because you're convinced that the shaman is possessed by your deceased sister is mental. I don't care what anyone says. It's mental. You need help. Min Hee Jin needs help, professional help. No offense to Min Hee Jin, but she needs professional help. That's all I can say about that. And get the girls away from her, as far away from her as possible, as quickly as possible, so that there won't be a problem. Because I don't like her being in that company with those girls. They need someone more competent, not a loose cannon like Min Hee Jin managing over them. Okay? The girls called me and consoled me and comforted me. No, you don't need, no. That should never have happened in the first place. Or she's lying about it and she's just trying to use them, which, bad idea if that's a lie. I mean, either way, you saying it is a bad idea. So you probably shouldn't have said it at all. But again, I said in a post long time ago when I was about to talk about this, it reminds me of the witch's song from Macbeth. Double, double toiling trouble. Fire burning, cauldron bubble. Double, double toiling trouble. Something wicked this way comes. And it has come. The shaman thing just makes it even more ironic. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this. I'm concerned for New Jeans, and I want people in the comments to like stop. I normally don't tell people what to say and what not to say, but I would love if y'all would please stop lumping the girls with Min Hee Jin. The girls are more innocent in this than even their parents. Their parents are more guilty than the girls are. The girls didn't do anything. They're just being strung along for the ride. Oh, one more thing. I know it's alleged that Min Hee Jin said things about the women in her company. I have seen those alleged texts talking about the women in her company. And may I say, sounds like she doesn't like working with women. It does. It sounds like she doesn't like working with women. But anyway, that's all I want to say. I don't want to make this video too long. I got a lot of editing to do, so I'm going to get out of this and start editing now. Thank you guys for watching. If there's anything I missed or left out, please let me know in the comments. if you want to add something to it, to what I said, or whatever, if you disagree and you think that Min Hee Jin is innocent, and I know there's a lot of you out there that do think that way, let me know, and let me know why. Tell me why you think she's innocent. And I might make a final video just talking about everything that we have found out up to this point and why all of this proves to me that she's not trustworthy. I might do that. I might. Strong might. We don't know. We'll figure it out. I'll figure it out later. I have other stuff that I want to talk about as well. I want to get off of Min Hee Jin and go somewhere else because I'm just so done. I'm done with this woman. I'm done with everything. I'm done. I wish no ill will on Min Hee Jin except that she gets help, because I want her to be mentally stable, and she's just not. In my opinion, I don't see her as a mentally stable person. Okay? And any mentally stable CEO that's over a bunch of young girls or guys, they need to be as far away from those girls or guys as possible. That's just my feeling. But yeah, we'll talk about this maybe in another video, but until then, I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Love you guys. Bye.